Jesus Christ, I just woke up, man. I feel like fucking garbage. I look like fucking garbage. Holy shit. Give me a Halls, brother. What? Dude, give me like 2 minutes. I literally just woke up. Let me go to the bathroom for like a minute, bro. BRB. 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. We got a lot to look at today and videos to watch. BRB. 1 sec. All right. Oh, jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah, all right, we're here. You know, the one thing I didn't get was water. Yeah, I gotta go again. Let me get water. Mochi, I need water. All right, we're here. Now we're fucking here. Now I can sit down. What I should do is just leave the fucking camera on, bro. Who gives a shit? All right, we're here. Time to look at dwarf things for like an hour or two. So I ended up pre-ordering 30. What the fuck? 30. How much is this? $60 for 5 minis. I guess that's normal. I've already made my order. I'm way done. Yeah, how much was that? 400 bucks? 500 bucks? I ended up getting the dice. I got the transfer sheet. I got everything that was new. None of the old minis. None of the older stuff. Yeah. Well, we don't need to look at the pre-orders because I've already made my way through these. Oh, you know what? Actually, I want to look at the pre-orders. I don't want to look at the pre-orders. Wow, they don't even show you the sprue? They don't even show you the sprue for the shield bearers. That's lame. Gotcha, yeah. That's pretty expensive, bro. Yeah, it's a little expensive. Okay. So here's a video. We're gonna watch this. This I want to see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's cool. So that's basically a bit of the background. I don't normally do a lot of background stuff, so I'm going to talk about the rules now. I did actually take some pictures of the
Ooh, hold up. Krezakrak, Baragvar, Karagnorn. I like the new artwork is great. The thing is though with the new it's very interesting. Some of the colors are a little different from what they were previously. But then again, this is you could say oh this is canon, but also 8th edition stuff was canon. Whatever designs they wanted to do now, still it works. That looks good.
the art and stuff because it was really cool. So like I really like this, you know, these kind of like color bits of the journal. So for people who don't know about the arcane journal sort of format of Old World, you've got your when the game come out, you had your big like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys books with all the rules. So you got these main books, and then you get these journals, and the journals normally have a little story about like a battle leading up to a battle. There's some special characters, some alternate army lists, and lots of background. So if you're into your faction, this kind of like expands all stuff. It's a very nice book. I really like it. It's got a lot of good artwork in it, and yeah, it's very interesting. So, and what I like about it as well, it's not like it doesn't feel like a lot of stuff to read. You just can have a little bit of a sit down and read the background. It gives you a flavour, but it's not being trying to be an all expansive history of that race, and it's kind of filling in gaps. And I'm sure as more books come out and there's more interactions between them, we're going to get to see the world kind of fleshed out in a more organic way than just going, here is the big book of all the history, eat it. And then the next 10 years later, here's the next big chunk of the same history rewritten slightly. So hopefully there's going to be that evolution of what's going on.
Good, we're chilling.
So I think for people who are into like the old world lore, you're getting this period of history which is a little bit dark and a little bit like we don't really know. It's a bit like the Dark Ages, I guess, for us, is that it kind of we're filling this world out and it fits the setting and you've got crossover, but it's also different. And I think that's really cool. So anyway, so I think there's some really cool stuff in here. Obviously, you've got maps, which is, you know, this is the realm of the dwarf.
I wish I could zoom in.
Dwarfs, so you've got the World Edge Mountains, you've got even Karak has got a dwarf symbol on it because they've got the upper levels retaken. And you know, you've got all
yeah,
these
true.
different prongs, these sort of Karak Hern,
Izor, Norn, Var.
I say Barak Var, that was the port city. I'm trying to remember now, yeah, as Ungol, and I think Zufbar by Blackwater.
Zufbar's pretty cool.
That was the that featured quite heavily in Shadow of the Hornrat, the computer game. Not the Drakenhof. Karak Kudrin, which is the Slayer Keep. So obviously you've got the Empire here. And one of the things that's quite funny is the dwarfs in this don't really understand why like the humans are infighting. They're like, why aren't you united? And that's kind of funny because where they end up with the dwarfs being kind of scattered and kind of, you know, self-serving in their own little remnant towns. It's kind of they're almost in this phase of like, yeah, we're all united, we're building up, we're trying to get there because the threat of chaos isn't really there. They haven't really got anything to keep them down, you know, so they can focus on the greenskin threat and reclaiming their empire. So I think it's really cool time to be a dwarf. You know, before it all gets really, really bad. So anyway, so what do you get in here? You get the
This is the royal clans. At least 25% of your army's points value must be spent on quarrelers. Holy shit, quarrelers, really? They have a use? Mercenaries, doom seekers. Thane or Runesmith can take the BSB. Was it always that way for a Runesmith to take a BSB? Dwarf cart. Yeah, this is very, like, boomer traditionalist shit, like they said. Bolt throwers, grudge throwers, quarrelers. K-dubs, yo, buddy.
The Royal Clan. So in here, this is like your alternate army list. So you've seen these before. So you've got like the Mortuary Cult for Tomb Kings and things like that. So in here, standard.
When a royal clan marches to war, the venerable warriors amongst the throng inspire the younger generations with glorious tales of heroes of old. During a turn in which a unit in a royal clan army makes a charge move of 3 inches or more, or made a follow-up move, it gains a 1+ modifier to its strength. Alright. I'm not like a big game savvy guy, but like, you know, not right now at least. Not like I used to be. Riches and heirlooms, I think you just get to spend more points on shit, right? Yeah, you get more armor. Character models in this army may spend up to 25 more points in runes. In addition, any units able to purchase standard armor, 25 more points, okay. After deployment, but before the first turn begins, nominate a single enemy character for one reason or another. This individual has gained themselves a place in the clan's book of grudges and must be brought to justice. All friendly models gain hatred. In addition, you win a 75 victory point bonus if the nominated character is slain. Alright.
Exception of
cool.
Royal Clan
Interesting.
Warriors, who already get cool little extra bonus rules.
Expeditionary Force. Flame Cannon. Bro, they're pushing the Flame Cannon narrative. Oh boy, that model. You can kind of just take everything, though, actually. This is literally just all of them. So they added a new character, the Engineer Sapper. I don't know what the Engineer Sapper does, but that's a brand new character. Might have been, like, from an old edition, but I just don't fucking remember.
Then you have a unit entry as well. Then you have 50% of your points may be spent on miners. Don't know. Addition.
Expeditionary Marksman. 0 to 1 unit of Thunderers per 1,000 points may be upgraded to Expeditionary Marksman for 1+ point per model. They don't suffer the negative to hit modifier for moving and shooting. In addition, any Dwarf Engineer may be upgraded to an Expeditionary Marksman for 10 points. Okay. When writing your muster list, you must reduce the toughness characteristic of any of the following war machines by 1. That's a weird function over form. The artillery fielded by an expeditionary force are stripped down to their most basic form, allowing their deadly firepower to be brought to bear far quicker than the conventional war machines. You know, hey, Engineers Guild don't like that one. No good. No good. Kind of interesting. It's an interesting rule. Again, I don't know if this is a take on, like, some older thing. I think an Expeditionary Force came from, like, maybe a previous book. But thematically, okay. Subterranean Ambush is literally like a deep strike for miners. I had seen something like this. While the rest of the Expeditionary Force marches forth above ground, teams of miners attempt to encircle the enemy from below. This was interesting. If your army includes a unit of miners, you may, after both sides have deployed, but before the first turn of the game begins, deploy 2 32mm round mine markers, plus 1 additional marker for each additional miner unit in your army. These markers can be deployed anywhere on the battlefield that is not within the enemy's deployment zone, 12 inches of another friendly miner marker, 6 inches of an enemy unit, or 3 inches of a special feature or objective marker. When a unit of miners would arrive onto the battlefield as reserves, it could be placed anywhere on the battlefield within 6 inches of a mine marker. I mean, pretty sure they had that previously, I believe. That's interesting, though. It's cool. They'd always, I mean, make their subterranean advance anyways, right? Not just, like, march above ground. Tombstone, yo, buddy. Well, you're supposed to measure your... Well, this is a game. It's not like a campaign thing.
Dwarf engineer may be upgraded to over 4 uses.
Show me the rules!
Came from a lot more mobility written into it, which is obviously... he's...
Oh my god, Thorgrim. 250 points. Thorgrim Ullickson. Thorgrim Ullickson is a Thane. He may be included in a Dwarven Mountain Holds army, made using any army composition lists that include this option. Okay. Grudge lore. So deep is Thorgrim's knowledge of grudge lore that he can readily find words to stoke the fires of wrath within his kin and unleash their rage upon any foe. Once Thorgrim has been set on, has set the grudge stone, both he and his army, he just has joined, replaces the hatred for orcs and goblins special rule with hatred for all enemies. Okay. Grudge stone. During the start of any turn subphase, Thorgrim may set the grudge stone. Once set, Thorgrim and any unit he has joined gains the unbreakable special rule and automatically passes any panic tests they are required to take. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, what are the conversion options for that? An oath stone, a grudge stone? Armor of Skaldwar, okay. Grudge settler. That's his weapon.
And he's me.
I wonder if they show you the mini. I wonder if they literally show you the mini in the back of the book. I don't even think they have them ready, so I don't think they will. AP 1, Strength +2, Armor Bane 1, Magical Attacks. Master Rune of Smiting and Rune of Parrying. 250 points. Ungrim, I mean, I'm looking for flavor text at this point. I'm not really a big rules guy right now. I'm not even close to playing the fucking game. This is Thorgrim before he became king. Yes. He can join Hammerers. Okay, Slayers is core. Wound roll of 4 is always a pass. Great. Axe of Dargo, +2 strength. -3 AP. I mean, you're just dead. It's always a matter of, like, where do you put Ungrim? Where do you put these big guys who need to get into combat when they can't fucking move? Right? He's got movement 3. He's a 315-point model for movement 3. How do you go anywhere? Like, Bugman's cart to give him move speed? Okay, Burlock Davidson was more of my thing. Right then, all being well, it shouldn't explode this time. Bro thinks he's Malachi. Chill out, dude. Prepared positions. This is what I'm mostly interested in, because I do probably just want to play the Expeditionary Force. During deployment, you may entrench a single non-character model whose troop type is War Machine and a single unit of Quarrelers or Thunderers. An entrenched unit is considered to be partially in cover. That's the same thing as the Engineer. Yeah. Okay. Range finding optics. By the way, Burlock Davidson is 85 points. Ungrim Iron Fist, 315. Thorgrim, 215. This is just probably a slightly buffed up engineer. He's nothing more. Unless Burlock is fleeing or engaged in combat once per turn during the shooting phase, a friendly unit of Quarrelers, Thunderers, or a Dwarf War Machine that is within his command range can either reroll. It's the same thing. Kind of the same thing as before, I believe. What makes him different then? Special rules? I think this is maybe slightly tweaked. I'd have to look at the book, but like, it's not that big of a deal right now. Stand back chief. I think that's the exact same thing. Flaming attacks with his cog hammer. All right. Rivet gun. Strength 3, AP 2, Armor Bane 1. If the roll to hit is successful, the weapon causes D3 hits to the enemy target within the unit. Okay. Oh, to the target enemy unit rather than the usual one. I mean, what are you paying for with this guy? What are you paying for with this guy? What does he do? Unless there's like some very minor... I think it's maybe like this, because this is a rule that engineers have. This is a rule that engineers have. Again, maybe it's like slightly modified. Maybe the points increase is just for his weapons, right? Probably. For 85 points, I mean, okay, I thought it'd be a little bit different. Dwarf Engineer Sapper. So this is a brand new unit. Or a rehash of an old unit. When an expeditionary force is drawn into battle, sappers work hand in glove with the engineers to ensure the dwarven throng is prepared for the coming conflict. With an experienced sapper at the helm, a host of warriors can be poised for action behind expertly constructed barricades or sheltering in foxholes in short order. Once these temporary fieldworks have been established, sappers will work to break the ground up on the approach to their newly fortified position, working the foe to advance over uneven terrain, while weathering a storm of crossbow bolts, shot, and cannon fire. Alright, so dig in. A sapper will direct the rapid construction of fieldworks and trenches to protect comrades from the enemy. During the command subphase, if you're not engaged in combat, this character may attempt to lead their unit in the digging of some fieldworks. By making a leadership test, using their own leadership, if the test is passed, the character in any unit they have joined becomes entrenched. So you can entrench, this is like a, you can give your guys like light cover, something like that, I believe is what it is. An enemy model that ends a move within this command range of one or more characters of the special rule must take a dangerous terrain test. Okay, so it's kind of like this, these like kind of, you'd have your firing lines or whatever, and then you'd have dangerous terrain in front of them, right? So your guys would have better cover, better saves, and then anyone trying to like charge them or get near them, take a dangerous terrain test. All right. How many points is this guy though? Interesting. He's like a defensive character. Doomseekers. I can't really... I just want to see the points cost. Where are the points cost? Royal Clan Warriors. Royal Clan Warriors are best represented by arming hammerer models with a mix of hand weapons and shields, or two-handed axes, rather than their customary great hammers. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I'm not doing that. If I have to do Royal Clan Warriors, I'm not gonna do that. Personally, I wouldn't do that. You give your hammerer models longbeard weapons. To me, that's a little bit sus. Like, you still have the hammerers. These guys are just, what, upgraded? Like, how many points are they, first of all? Where are the points?
Show on that at some point. So...
Ooh. Yo, look at that art. Hold up.
He's looking at things going, how do mercenaries work? I think this is the first one. There might be one in the Orc and Goblin book. I've not looked at that.
Right here,
we'll
it's
be doing a show
8
on
a.m.
that at some point. So...
Hand weapons, shields, heavy armor. Replace shields with Gromril great weapons. Royal Clan veterans, standard musician. Okay. Talisman runes, weapon runes, drilled. Veterans, stubborn. The Royal Clans of the Dwarven Holds are rich beyond measure, having hoarded mountains of coin over the centuries and filled their treasuries with gemstones and precious metals. Thus, when the warriors of a royal clan march to war, they do so bedecked in the finely wrought suits of Gromril armor and wielding masterfully crafted rune-inscribed hammers and axes. Yet, what truly sets apart the warriors of the royal clans from others is their pride. To be kin to a king or queen of the Karaz Ankor, and to be deemed worthy of fighting at their side is a great privilege, and the warriors of royal clans are honor-bound to prove their worth time and time again in the service of their hold. Okay. They really do want you to, like, create a unit that is self-contained within the box. Like, it makes sense, but I'm not doing it. It makes sense, but I'm still not going to do it. I think if I was to do it, I would use Longbeards. Converted Longbeards. Reason being is, again, the hammers are very distinct. It's like, it's like the highest order in dwarf society when it comes to anything militaristic, right? Like, these are the bodyguards of the king. They're not the clans dwarves who are royal blood. Like, okay, maybe some of them will be, but some of them just straight up aren't. It's interesting, like, you know, if you want more of these models, great. I think what I would do then... God, what would I do? I still have that weird little conversion thing. Where'd he go? His shield fell off. Interesting. So they really want you to use the hammer kit and the Longbeard kit instead of, like, Dwarf Warriors. This is not focused. That's like, huh. Hammers and silvers and Royal Clan Warriors in respective holds colors. Well, they still have suits of Gromrel. They're all decked out in Gromrel. Interesting. I don't know. I've played Vermintide, yeah. From a modeling standpoint, it's interesting, to say the least.
Then you got your Royal Clan Warriors. So these are your, like, infantry plus. I don't know, obviously, what difference they have. You can have drilled, stubborn, veteran. 0 to 1 unit can. He's resolute. Nice. That's really great have for me. Then you've got Imperial Dwarf Mercenaries.
Imperial Dwarf Mercenaries. Thrusting spears. Awesome. All right, Dogs of War. Yep.
Great weapons, thrusting spears, crossbows, fire army, and yes, they're kind of, because they're veterans, thrusting. These are weird. They're a light chariot.
Here we go.
They could be the bug.
The Bugman's cart or the Miner's cart are free? What? Wait, what? Oh, no, you have to pay for the cart, and then you decide what the cart is. It's like, is it 60? Where does it say 65 points? So it's 65 points. It won't show here. Okay. During the command subphase of their turn, any dwarf unit that is not fleeing or engaged in combat and that is within 6 inches of Bugman's cart, that itself is not fleeing or engaged, gains a 1+ modifier to its movement. It's up there in the corner. I can't even see it. It should be up here, but he's not showing it. Oh, you can see it right there. Is that 65? There you go. My bad. I'm blind. For 65 points, everyone gets... Is that even worth it? 65 points, and everyone within 6 inches gets +1 to their move. They're not fat. +1 to a dwarf? 4 inches. Woo! They're fast, dude.
Like chariot.
A dwarf unit that is within 3 inches of a friendly mining cart that is not fleeing. Okay, great. Can make a stand and shoot reaction and or shooting attack if they were equipped, as if they were equipped with blasting charges.
They could be.
What are the blasting charge rules? Okay, I guess we're gonna see maybe. I mean, that's a lot for a, yeah, 1 plus 1.
This is can make may make a stand and shoot reaction.
And if the mining cart loses its last wound, it blows up and the fucking pony blows up. That's funny. If the mining cart loses its last wound to an enemy attack during the combat phase, roll a d6. On a 4 up, the mining cart explodes and every unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches suffers d6, strength 3 hits, each with AP 1 and flaming attacks. It's like a suicide bomb pony. It's a suicide bomb pony. An army made using the Dwarven Mount holds grand army composition list may include up to 4 dwarf carts. I like that. It's a cool little flavorful thing, again, using the bits in the kit. That's cool. Okay. This is the Scout Gyrocopter. With the likes of gyrocopters and gyrobombers being used more heavily on the battlefield, there was a demand for a lightly armored machine to take over their role as scouts and messengers. By stripping some of the weight armor from the fuselage, engineers came up with a faster design that sacrificed some of the defensive capabilities for increased speed, allowing the machine to race between holds or rapidly resupply otherwise cut-off expeditions. Though it has sacrificed some of its armor and its payloads of bombs, the Scout Gyrocopter is still able to spit death from above with its rapid-fire clatterguns. I literally just said it. This is exactly what it was. Scout Gyrocopters are represented by regular gyrocopters assembled using the canards of the tail of the gyrobomber in place of the usual canards with bombs, and with a clattergun piece instead of the usual steam gun. Tail? Canards from the tail? Maybe I was wrong. I thought it was just the wings. I'd have to look at that kit. That is a weird... weird looking. Oh, actually, he was showing the points. Damn. Hit and run, extended formation. Cool. More conversions. More whittling. Lovely. Goblin Hewer. Whirling Doom. Okay. I mean, alrighty. I'm not very rules heavy right now, unfortunately. These I did want to look at, though. Where are these the tattoos? What is this?
You will have a range modifier and stuff, so yeah, it's interesting. Then we've got the runic tattoos.
Ooh.
So
are you serious? You can't even give Slayers tattoos. You can't give generic Slayers runic tattoos. Wow. So Slayers still suck the cheese. They're garbo. Yo, yo. Adzi, yo, buddy. Goro, yo, buddy. Well... So, I mean, Doomseekers, like Demon Slayers and Dragon Slayers, can take tattoos, but I guess generic Slayers don't. That's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of... Like, Doomseekers are cool, but if I ever play the game in probably end of the year's time... Okay, these are the engineering runes, I think. Master Rune of Piercing. Rune of Concussive Fire. A unit hit with a special attack made with a weapon inscribed with the Rune of Concussive Fire gains the Stupidity rule? What? A unit hit with an attack made by a weapon inscribed with this rune gains the Stupidity special rule until your next start of the sub-turn. Okay. That's like... Alright. What? Rune of Accuracy. A weapon inscribed with this rune does not suffer any negative to hit modifiers. Interesting. The Rune of Rapid Reload. Multiple shots too and quick shot. Rune of Molten Steel. Flaming attacks. These... Upon a crossbow or a handgun. Crossbow or handgun? That's kind of expensive. Runes are pretty fucking expensive, man.
runes, they can be on a crossbow or handgun. That's quite interesting. So you've got the Master Rune of Slaying. So making a wound always rune, that's thrower. Rune mark take injury attack, cool. Rune of Rappel, flaming attack special rule. and the so which means you can only have one on all stuff from this journal, Spans Empire. And I really like sort of modifications of the previous ones.
Wait.
You've got slightly.
That's the journal. That's it. I guess you know what? You know, most of what I want to see in the journal is probably not covered by YouTubers. Like, the rules portion of these journals, great, it's cool. I'm not playing the game until probably the end of the year, so I'm not really thinking about it too much. But, like, I want to see the lore. I want to read the lore. I don't know if that was in, like, the NDA where you can't show the lore. I want to know what's going on, and I kind of want to know... I don't think... Yeah, you know, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of buying the book, you know, if you could just see everything. Then again, most people buy the book for the rules anyways, not for the lore. Yeah. That might just be in kind of their agreement. Hang on, let me just take a look at this real quick. For people who have played Old World since it dropped, it's like there is the one thing they probably want the most is just decking out armies and like switching up, you know, compositions and whatnot, but like I'm so far detached from the game currently that it's just not even a thought. Like, it's like, oh great, all of these are options, but yeah. Oh. So...
And there will be a stream of High King.
Thorgrim Ullukson, oldest son of Uli Grimbolg, Thane of the clan Ulluk, and Kemma, Ulrich's daughter, sister of High King Balin Ulrichson, is a sturdy dwarf with an ample girth and a serious demeanor. Descended from the most ancient and noble of dwarf lords, it is said that the blood of Grungni runs in Thorgrim's veins, and the wisdom of Alaya sits upon his beetling brow. Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, really zoom in to read this. King Thorgrim is held in high regard by the lords of the Lords of Karazakarak, who speak respectfully of the young dwarf both in recognition of his noble station and his upstanding character, regularly affirming his hushed tones, their belief that Thorgrim will one day lead his clan to greatness. Indeed, some have referred to Thorgrim as the High King's Spare, a trusted kinsman groomed for a leader's role should some catastrophe befall Ulrichson and his own heirs. Since a young age, Thorgrim has been a favorite of the High King, raised alongside Ulrichson's own sons, schooled in the arts of diplomacy and statesmanship, and immersed in grudge lore, the study of the Damask Kron and the Great Book of Grudges. Thus has Thorgrim come to occupy an unshakable position of trust at the right hand of his uncle. Indeed, so great is the High King's trust in his nephew that Thorgrim is served briefly as throne bearer. Really, that's cool. That's pretty damn cool, eh? That's like a little bit of foreshadowing. Bro was Ulrichson's throne bearer. And that's cool. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I want to read the other lores, though. That's cool. Joining the elite ranks of those tasked with bearing aloft the throne of power and attending the High King as bodyguards and constant companions. For most, such an honorable appointment marks the commencement of a lifetime-long position, for in 4,000 years since the Throne of Power was created, barely a handful of throne bearers have retired from service and fewer have ever abandoned their duties. Yet, in the case of Thorgrim, his time as a throne bearer proved brief and only served to advance his career. That's still kind of cool, though, that it was there, you know? Like, the soon-to-be High King bringing in the High King on the Throne of Power. Within a few short years of becoming his throne bearer, High King Ulrichson offered his nephew the rank of Carl of the Damask Kron. Though unusual, such an appointment is not unprecedented, for several High Kings before Ulrichson have appointed a Carl, whose duty is to study the Damask Kron on their king's behalf, reading and memorizing each entry, ensuring no insult to the dwarves go unforgiven and no wrong is overlooked in his new role. Thorgrim was tasked with the study of the Great Tome and all its many lesser volumes and appendices, and with being ever mindful, should the opportunity arise, to strike a grudge from the record. Recognizing the honor of his appointment and keenly aware of his trust his uncle has placed upon him, Thorgrim was quick to accept the offer. Though young Thorgrim was flourished in his new position and proven extremely proactive in the pursuit of unsettled grudges, seeking out those he believes owe his people a blood debt and leading the throng of Karazakarak against them. For this relentless pursuit of his duties and diligent study of the Damaskron, Thorgrim has become known by some as Grudge Bearer. This moniker pleases him greatly, for secretly he dreams of avenging every insult against his people, so that they may one day set aside the Great Book of Grudges. I mean, that's exactly why he kind of just becomes, like, that's one of his big boasts about being High King anyways, when he's offered that position. It's like, you know, we will strike every grudge from the Great Book. And then eventually, you know, with the world ending, is that true? That's cool. Yeah, okay. Kind of, you know, Thorgrim was always known for being royal blood anyways, so him being this, you know, right-hand man to the king, and at one point being a throne bearer, and just someone who knows the lay of the land when it comes to, like, the grudges and what's actually in the book. That's cool. I like that. So I'm assuming there's Ungrim.
Dwarf army, like any.
Get your hand off of it!
Let
me read.
Clan. All right, we got past the one thing I don't care about in this book. Next we have Ungrim Iron Fist. Now, you can quickly scan the book right here, or the page right here. Really cool. I'm actually going to skip over him right now, even though you can bring him in any dwarf army. Like, I don't care about this book. Next we have.
Is he trying to cover it? Were we not supposed to read it? Is this really under
All right, we got past the one thing I don't care about in this book. Next we have.
Okay, we got to read this in, like, okay. Many years ago, King Baragor, Ungrim's 5 times great-grandsire, suffered a loss so terrible that it drove him to take the oath of the Slayer cult. What caused a well-loved and widely respected king to make such a drastic decision, none can say for sure. For no Slayer has ever allowed the cause of their shame to go recorded, though it is commonly assumed that it was the death of his daughter. Pretty sure it was because of a dragon. He was supposed to go get, like, his daughter wed, you know, with a different hold or whatever, and a dragon came out and just kind of, like, fucking burned them all alive. I believe that's what it was. I think it's in one of the older books, not like a novel, but I believe it's literally just in, like the 8th edition book or something. 7th edition, whatever. Could be wrong. I think that's what I remember, though. In the Great Book of Grudges, amongst the list of crimes leveled against the dragon Skaladrak, it is written that it was he who sat upon the caravan of King Baragor's daughter. It literally just says it right there. It is written that it was he who set upon the caravan of King Baragor's daughter as they journeyed towards Karazakarak, there to wed the High King's son. Whispered legend tales that Baragor, his heart torn asunder by her loss, unable to hold accountable anything or anyone other than his own decisions, not to travel at his daughter's side, and resentful to the royal clans, royal burdens that had kept him at Karak Kadrin, fell into despair. In his sorrow, the king refused wise counsel, choosing instead to cut his beard short and swear the oaths of the Slayer cult.
Ungrim Iron Fist. Now, you can quickly scan the book right here, or the page right here. Really cool. No. Yeah. All right. We got past the one thing I don't care about in this book.
Yet Baragor was unable to set aside his duties as king. For to do so, would be an even greater shame upon his name and upon the memory of his daughter. In the end, good dwarf sense prevailed, and he found a way to honor all commitments. He founded the great shrine of Grimnir in Karak Kadrin and made of his hold a haven for wanderers and outcasts that continues to this day. In time, and much to his regret, Beregor passed peacefully at a great age. However, his mighty oaths did not end with death. Thus, his son inherited his conflicting vows of Slayer and King, and continued both his father's torment and the line of the Slayer Kings, of which King Ungrim Ironfist is but the latest. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Although Ungrim, like his ancestors before him, is forbidden by his kingly duties from seeking a mighty doom in Slayer fashion, the young king rails against the predicament, weighed down by memories of his own father's torment. It is rumored amongst the thanes of Karak Kadrin that Ungrim chose a maiden whose intellect and empathy he believed far outstripped his own to be his queen. Trusting that, with her cool head and sharp intellect, she may one day rule in his stead. Some amongst his most trusted counselors even whisper that, since the recent birth of their son, Ungrim has confided that the torture of kings will end with him. Well, that's true. True. How am I reading that? I mean, I can kind of see it. It's like blown up on the screen. It's like, ugh. Thus does Ungrim grow ever more restless, leading the throng of Karak Kadrin into countless battles. There are few kinds of monsters that walk the world that the Slayer King has not vanquished in battle. Armed with the enormous axe of Dargo, Ungrim deals death, carving a red path of ruin before him while singing songs of old in a booming voice. Most dwarves are amazed Ungrim has lived so long, and none think the way the mighty doom he craves to find in battle can be very far. Okay, I mean, that's like literally just kind of his lore anyways. It doesn't really go into anything different. That's just Ungrim's lore. All right, very cool. Ungrim's lore read very poorly because I am very bad at reading. Okay, there's Burlock Damonson. Stop covering the lore. I want to read. Okay, Burlock Damonson. Gotta suck to be one of Ungrim's hammerers. I mean, your job is to protect the king. Yeah, that's true, eh? Well, actually, no, he's not. He can't die. Like, he cannot just go commit suicide. You cannot avenge. Like, it kind of sucks. It's not even Ungrim's fault. Like, his father taking the oath and kind of damning his bloodline. It's not his fault. You know, for his father's shame, he's literally going to kill himself. He wants to kill himself for his father's shame. And then his son kills himself for his father's shame. It's very unfortunate. It's very, very, very unfortunate. So, who knows? Even amongst the people renowned for their skill at engineering, Burlock Damonson is considered to be a protege at his craft. As an apprentice in the Engineers Guild, much to the annoyance of his older, wiser colleagues, Burlock would push the boundaries of invention, regularly disrupting the concentration of his peers with thunderous explosions, as his works were tested too, and often beyond their limits. Yeah, it's really like... Not his father, Ungrim, is the fifth in the line of the Slayer Kings. Well, not his father, but like, in his bloodline, none of them were able to kind of like actually do it, because you swear to your hold, right? You're a king, you have to lead your people, but at the same time you need to kill yourself. So like, yes, even if it's not his father, it's well gone beyond that. Every single person has to take it, and every single person is torn between leadership and finding their death. But that's why the shrine was enacted anyways, right? To like kind of work past that. It's like, if I can't kill myself, you guys can. So in my stead, like, since I'm a king, I can honor my Slayer oath, and you can all go take the oath and just go off and die. There you go, great. I guess it works, but Ungrim still wants to go die. Which is... that's just like... that's pretty backwards, I'm not gonna lie. That's a little But that's how dwarves are, I guess. They have to honor those oaths and things before them. It's like if you've got medical bills. You know, you go scratch your leg, you go to the hospital in the US, and then they charge you $50,000. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to die. And then you die. That gets passed on. Pretty sure. You may not want it, but it's there. Whilst many young dwarf engineers share this brave, if not perhaps careless approach to invention, almost all of them grow out of it in time. For those that persist in behaving recklessly, there are a number of embarrassing punishments the guild can unleash in the hope of shaming a wayward apprentice into maturity. Amongst those, black bearding, cogging, and the infamous trouser leg ritual. Cogging. Yes. Remain popular amongst the older engineers. Pretty sure they never explain what the fuck the trouser legs ritual is. Like, that was probably the most talked about one anywhere, and no one even knows what it is. However, young Burlock was protected from those humbling public displays by his father, a respected and traditionally minded engineer within the guild. Though he tried many times to bring his wayward son to heel, Burlock would not be dissuaded from the pursuit of innovation and continued to tinker in secret, his dangerous experiments hidden from the disapproving eyes of the older engineers. Though he worked mostly in secret, Burlock shared the wild ideas of Sven it's this guy. The old rivalry where he's kind of like back and forth, and they, like, I think at one point they blow up the fucking, like, Engineers Guild in Krasakrak. Sven Hasselfriesen. Hey, you want to pronounce that last name? Go for it, man. Another young engineer with an appetite for pushing the boundaries of safety in the pursuit of the next big invention. Though the two often caused carnage during their tinkering and toil, they were also responsible for inventing some of the most outlandish and powerful machines ever seen in the workshops of Zufbar. I swear to God, was it Zufbar or Krasakrak? I think there was like a little lore tidbit where they did blow up something. Something was blown up with these two idiots. And it might have said Krasakrak or something, but it's so long ago. Which earned them the respect of the guild, the respect and ire of the guild. Okay. Whenever the Engineers Guild takes to the battlefield, Burlock eagerly grasps at the opportunity to test his experimental weaponry outside of the confines of his workshop. In battle, the courageous young dwarf stands amongst the front lines, unleashing superheated barrages of his rivet gun and cracking skulls with the blazing head of his furnace hammer. Those weapons have proven to be potent, though they have not always proven themselves harmless to a wielder, with both having left their mark upon Burlock's flesh. But Burlock's skill does not lie solely within the realm of invention, for like every member of the Engineers Guild, Burlock knows how to keep the Throng's artillery firing no matter the issue at hand, and for that he has mastered the art of crafting and maintaining traditional dwarf war machines. Even regiments of Thunderers have benefited from Burlock's skill and ingenuity, his specialized range-finding optics allowing experienced marksmen to accurately hit their target at a far greater distance than before. Yet, even as Burlock's reputation for ingenuity grows, there are many within the guild who still mumble that it is only a matter of time before his arrogant disregard for safety gets someone hurt or even killed. But despite repeated warnings of the many cautionary tales from his elders, Burlock has not been deterred from his work, and only time will tell if the young dwarf is capable of learning what is good, what all good engineers know, that the old ways are the best. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess so, but it's very interesting for dwarves, because you could never make, like, it's these dwarves that really will further their race. You can't just keep pulling on tradition forever, right? Dwarves don't want innovation, and if they do have innovation, it's extremely painstakingly slow. Like, their race will just go nowhere without people like Burlock, right? Like, you could march out with your throngs, avenge grudges, do this, do that, as they've always done, right? But, like, imagine if you crafted a thunder barge that was safe, that could be consistently produced, and could just not have any problems. Like, how better off would the dwarves be with air supremacy, right? Air superiority. Like, you've got the gyrocopters, great. Those are pretty consistent, but still kind of new to their standards. Yes. It's interesting. I like the idea of the Engineers Guild and kind of how they're always stuck in the past. You know, it's like, why are we trying to do anything with these schematics? They're perfect. You're spitting on the great lost fucking turbo dead dwarves that came before you. But at the same time, dwarves are smart and resourceful enough to be able to create these things if they try. And of course, everyone's just going to be in disapproval, but like, if you can, again, field test it and make it consistent, make it reliable. Very reliable. Like, you're good. You're way good.
Not that. So, and then we also got cover. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, but
Ooh. I love the banners. Crack.
it's this is, you know, his
Ooh. Oh, there's nothing new though. They really don't show you Thorgrim or Burlixon. They don't show you either of them. Anywhere. I'm 99% sure you're not going to get a mini. You will not get a miniature from them. Nope. Like, we've seen the rules. We've kind of gone through these. I love the artwork. It's cool. I think we've basically seen the journal. Outside of, like, these are the profiles for characters. But the initial lore tidbits, I don't think will be shown. Which, you know, I guess, again, NDA, probably. You can't, like, show most of the reason the book is kind of, well, the flavor text. Can't show that. I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to very much see the flavor text. If I could. Arcane Journal. Man. I mean, again, the Games Workshop sells minis for gaming. A lot of the gaming coverage, like the rules and whatnot, it's all there. It's very great. But as someone who just has no eye on playing the game, because I haven't even built my fucking 2K army, not to mention it probably will change, like my list will change based on getting this journal and actually looking through rules and like taking the time to sit down to build a list. Maybe there's like, let me check the GW website. I want to see if there's any like new things. Yeah, you're not. I don't think you're gonna get Grim Burlixon, dude. As a miniature, I don't think you're gonna get him. I don't even think. Well, let's just take a look at the new stuff. So UK English. UK English. Old World. Dwarven Mountain Holds. Alright. Of course, dude. Yes. Of course. Fucking hell, bro. I wonder if, do they show the boxes? Oh, they do show the boxes. I love the artwork. And they give you mini transfers. Oh! Wait, so I spent $45. I gotta look at, okay, I gotta look at these. I really have to look at these. So, the Dwarven Mountain Holds Battalion. I mean, you're just getting a rehash of, like, the Warriors, the Quarrelers. Yeah, cool. These are great. I bought the $45 transfer sheet. Oh, this is the mini dinky transfer sheet, right? This is not all of the holds. This is just the main ones. Caragnorn, Var, Kadrin, Krazakrak, Zufbar, Hearn. You get, like, the little knotworks. You get the fucking Klinkaroon. Yeah, cool. The artwork is just good. Yeah, I like it. I don't really know how much 110... Is this euros or pounds? It's cool to see updated paint jobs on minis. Like, these definitely look a little bit better than what they were previously painted as. Krazakrak. Pounds. It's Great British Pounds. Great British Pounds. Okay, so the Hammerers. The new artwork. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty clean, eh? I like it. Bro's got a big ol' anvil head. Yeah. You get 20 of them, I assume. 20 Dwarf Warriors or 20 Dwarf Longbeards. It's very interesting. Why would you say Dwarf Hammerers and not, like, Dwarven Longbeards / Hammerers? You know? Like, you get both. They show both, like, options. You get the Hammerers, and then you get the Longbeards. Why don't they show both? Or rather, why don't they say both? Because they do show both. Maybe on the back it says, like, alternative build Longbeards or something. Like, that's cool. Iron Drakes. Same deal. You get 20 of them. Iron Drakes, Iron Breakers. Art looks cool. I like the boxes. I like the boxes in that they mix, like, artwork and the minis instead of just showing the miniatures, right? Like, initially, before, it was still kind of showing... I think they went from showing miniatures to showing artwork to showing miniatures to then showing both. I think that was kind of the history of, like, boxes and what they portrayed. Looks good. Very expensive, though. You're looking at, like, 100 USD. Oh, it looks great. Yeah, I love the look of the aesthetic of the old world looks good. It looks nice. Quarrelers and Thunderers. Same price. You get how many of these? 32? 36, right. 36 of them. So, same deal. I like the updated paint schemes, though. They look nice. And these are very Dwarf Warrior anyways, Dwarf Thunderer, right? It looks good. I love it. Okay. Bro's got that long, looking like a Dowizar there a little bit, you know? Hey, looks good. I love it. I wonder if they say you can build Rangers. Let's see if it says that. Wait. This multi-part plastic kit allows you to build 36 Dwarf Quarrelers or 36 Dwarf Thunderers. They don't tell you could build Rangers. Are we getting new Ranger minis? That's a good question. I'm building Rangers right now. I hope we don't get new Ranger minis. Because, like... Well, maybe you will. Because the Rangers are more of a... Like, they're not your rank-and-file clans warriors, right? These are not generic, like, Joe Blows. Like, the Rangers go out for very long bouts of time. And they're pretty well-versed in, like, traversing mountainsides and scouting, and sometimes they even fucking, like, you know, if they find, like, a raiding party and whatnot and they can't really engage it, they'll sometimes lure wyverns or manticores into them. Like, the Rangers are outdoorsmen. They're not normal. They're even seen as, like, weirdos by most dwarves. And for that reason, they are they're a little different, you know, from these guys. So maybe you would get it. That'd be very interesting to get new sculpts for Rangers. Kind of like the, I don't know if you've seen the Empire, I think it's the Empire Warcry group of, like, it's the Age of Sigmar Warcry guys. They're basically Rangers. Like, if you want Ranger sculpts, you hack those legs off and make them short. It's these guys. Somewhere. Right here. These would be, like, you take the flavor of these guys and you make them Rangers. Not like you'd make these models Rangers, but you know what I mean? Like, each Ranger would be kind of different. They can all be armed with crossbows and whatnot, but, like, you know, you can maybe have a guy running around with a great weapon, or you can have a guy doing throwing axes. It'd be cool. Because, yeah, Rangers aren't typically lumped in with the rest of the guys. They're very much their own thing. So, it's a pretty good first wave for dwarves, though. Yeah, this is very good. You can just kind of get, well, solid until you realize you don't have cannons or organ guns. Then you're kind of like, wish we had cannons and organ guns. Which I'm very surprised they didn't give you. Because when they give you the expeditionary force, right, the engineering side of, like, what you could be taking, and you don't have the mainstay cannon or organ gun, it's a little weird. Like, I would even say you don't need to bring in... I would have left the Goblin Hewer for the second wave. That's what I would have done. Bring in the cannon, bring in the gyro, leave the Hewer. The Hewer needs to go. Same thing with the miners. Where are the miners? If they come back, you'll get 2 gyrocopters bombers per box. Maybe. I think the scout gyro said it was, what, 1 to 2 per unit? Like, up to 2 in a unit. I'm very intrigued on converting a scout gyrocopter. I think it'd be awesome to just deck the thing out in, like, fucking supplies and bags and things. This looks good, though. I mean, 36 Dwarf Warriors, great. Transfer sheet, great. I mean, it's like, what, 85 fucking Canadian dollars? Not great, but, you know, it works itself out. If you get twice as many minis, it's the same price. Cool. Runesmith. I believe he just comes in a box. Yeah, that's a little bit of a repackage. Yes, happy Dwarf Day. It is very much Dwarf Day for us. I've already made my pre-orders. I just have to go in today and pay. Transfer sheet we've seen. Maybe I can zoom in, though. This was mad expensive. $45. 45 Canadian for this bad boy. Woo! The old blisters. Yeah, hey, I was there for the blister packs, too. You can zoom in below. Can you really? Because that's a cool sheet. I do want to see this, actually. Where? How do you zoom in? No, it's just not even. It's just... you can kind of see it. Kazid Gentaz, Karak Engazar. Karak something, I can't, is that a B? Bufdar. Karak Zilfin. Okay, kind of cool. Karak Asgaraz. That's the, I need to figure out where Asgaraz is. I've been looking into Asgaraz because I have a few roleplay books for the sake of lore. But I believe Karak Asgaraz was from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And in whatever book it comes in, it's very much the history and everything of Karak Asgaraz, which is cool. Karak Jantuk, Karak Varn, 8 Peaks, getting any love is cool. Karak Azul is always badass. I quite like Karak Azul and Karak Hearn, actually. Barak Var is cool. I'm more like Barak Var or Zufbar, kind of like, you know, one and the same almost, not really. Just very inventive. There is one, it is in the Vermintide game. Yeah. But it's the actual, I'm looking for the book of it, basically. I don't know where it is. Like, I could look on the wiki for 2 seconds and cite something where it's like, oh, it's Fantasy Roleplay 4, whatever. Yeah, the Grey Mountains. Grey Mountain holds are not really my favorite. I don't really... Like, for me, everything is the World's Edge Mountains. I just prefer those holds. Black Mountains, Grey Mountains, you know, the Mountains of Morn, Long Dead. The Norse Dwarves. If you want to go that far and do, like, really big conversions for the Norse Dwarves, that'd be very interesting, but, like... Most of these holds are just kind of, like, color swaps, almost. Some more rich than others, you know, some more inclined to have certain materials, so, like, you could deck your guys out a little bit differently. But overall, I think a lot of these things, if you did want to convert them, they'd all kind of look the same, again, just with color swaps. Well, Crackadrak is, yeah, a Norse dwarf hold, which was supposedly lost until Thorgrim, you know. We're also getting runes of Alaya, Grungni, and Grimnir. Yes, I think it was down here. Somewhere, maybe? Unless I'm wrong. I swear to God I had seen those, no? This is just the Clinker rune. Right above Karak... Where is it? Above Karak Azul. Oh, literally right here. That's such a weird spot to put him, eh? Yeah. Valaya, Grungni, Grimnir? Or vice versa? I think that's it. I've got Stone and Steel. I don't think it's Stone and Steel. I flipped through that. It's not. It's a... Is it? Let me take a look. Hang on. I've got Stone and Steel. Karak Azgaraz. Nope. It's Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 3rd Edition. Book of Grudges. What the fuck does it even look like? Oh wait, I've got it. I have it. No, I've got this actually. I was flipping through. I flipped through it like briefly, but I never read it. That's probably why. No, I have it. It's Let me go get it. Oh shit! I've already got it. It was Is it here? What? Maybe I'm wrong. It came in the it was like a Blackfire Pass roleplay thing. And it said, maybe I'm wrong. No, it's there. Kind of. Chapter 4, Grudges of Karak as... No, it is. It is here. Chapter 3. Maybe I should have read this. I don't really fuck with the roleplay stuff like I used to, at least in reading it. Page 16. Well, there it is. Karak Azgaraz. Well, should have read it. I'll read it later. Cool. Sometimes you just forget you have stuff. This is one such case. All right. So, what's next? The dice. I don't really like the dice. What are our thoughts on these dice? I bought them because I collect dwarf stuff, so they're going to sit on a shelf. I'm not going to use them. I was the most hesitant on the dice. Yeah, I'm not going to use these. I won't use them. A weathered stone effect. Gray dice with metallic gold markings. You do get the scatter and artillery dice, so that's good. They're okay. They do look like stone, but I don't think I'm, like, madly impressed, you know? If the gold is more blue. Let me show you, I'll show you these dice that came out probably over 10 years ago. They look similar. These were dice from Balin's Tomb. So when the Lord of the Rings, like, Balin's Tomb starter set came out, you know, Mines of Moria, they sold these. And, they're all Dwarven themed, obviously. B for Balin, whatever, B for Bugman if you want. But, I don't know. I like both. I think they're alright. 30 euros, or 30 pounds. Yeah, it's like about 50 bucks for me. Roughly 50 bucks. They're okay. I'm not turbo in love with them. I don't think I'll be using them, because if I do want to use them, I'd have to buy 2 packs, and that's $100. So they're just going to sit in the packaging on the shelf. These look like ass. Mountain holds dice set clears. You think they're bad? Really? I don't think these suck. Seriously? I mean, bro, they're both okay. I don't know. This was about the same price. Maybe not when they first came out, though. I guess they do. These do look a little bit more like stone. I'll give them that. What if, you know, instead, what if they made them Gromril? What if they made them Gromril dice? You know, with like gold trim or something. Either way, they look okay. I'm not in love, but like, it's good enough. There is no way on God I'm ever buying these. 31 pounds. This is what, $50 for 5 minis? And they're absolutely, positively, they look like chewed pieces of gum. But I mean, the thing is, these are classic sculpts. People do love them, and there is a big bout of nostalgia when it comes to Old World. I just don't care. I really don't like Imperial Dwarves. I don't like dwarves with spears. For the people who grew up with this in, like, the 1500s, that's awesome that they're back, you know, and people can kind of, like, get them again if they want to, but this pricing is insane. It's a little bit expensive, absolutely. But it's not for me. I'm not, again, if I'm going to do Imperial Dwarves, I'm just going to convert them. Imperial Dwarf Command, again, just like a classic thing, you know. If you like your dwarves living in Imperial society and functioning like men of the Empire, to a degree, you can go for them, but I'm going to pass. So these were an easy pass. Easy pass for me. Anvil of Doom. It's like, okay, guys, what do we want? We want 5 little potatoes with spears, or do we want Thoric and his Anvil of Doom for 10 more pounds? This, I'm surprised this hasn't sold out, and maybe because it's just an old mini. Maybe. That might have been it. I'm not sure. But you'd think the Anvil is kind of like on everyone's radar. Maybe not. That's a little expensive. Goblin Hewer is great. I'm surprised the Goblin Hewer didn't sell out. this is a great mini. You know, they're not giving you Malachi McKyson. This is just a Goblin Hewer. So, you do not get Malachi McKyson. What I'm thinking Games Workshop should do, and what they will do, is they're going to basically come back with, like, a made-to-order system, like they've always done, but of classic characters. So, like, 1 month they may do dwarves, and so they're going to sell you, you know, Thorgrim and the Throne of Power. They're going to sell you this, they're going to sell you that. Older incarnations of, like, you know, Burlock Davidson or Ungrim Iron Fist. Fuck, they'll even give you Garagrim, because, you know, everyone loves Total War, and those guys are in Total War. They'll sell you Malachi separate for $30. They'll most likely do that. That's what I'm gonna say they'll do. And they're going to do it for every race. So they're going to go through the green skins, they're going to give you Gorbad, they're going to give you Azhag, they're going to give you just everyone Grom. There's no reason they wouldn't do that. To me, that is like the most logical thing you could do. Because you've got all of these fans of like Warhammer Fantasy, Total War, the Old World, but you're very limited by what you're giving people right now. Because what you're giving people is of the time. Which makes sense, you know, don't kind of go all out and give people things that don't matter currently and where things are. But even in Warhammer Fantasy, you know, they sold you Gorbad Ironclaw, and Gorbad Ironclaw has been long dead. Like, you could play him in game, but he's more of this, like, war boss of legend type of deal. Everything had 3 waves, but without named characters. I'm gonna say at a later date, right? You don't need to sell people things that aren't playable in game right now, but, like, eventually it will come back. Your cat is shedding. It's molting. What is it, a cockroach? Doomseekers. These are great. People will buy these. Storm of Chaos campaign. You know, one of the more unique Slayer units. I'm not really keen on Slayers. I think the Slayer aesthetic is one of my absolute favorites, but I don't like an army of Slayers. That's not really my thing. They did that for the Storm of Chaos with the Dwarves of Kadrin. It was never really my calling. But it's cool. It's very, very cool that it's still a thing. More money for GW. The Ancient Bugman's Cart. Yeah, when I was talking to the GW guy, I'm like, we'll come back to the Bugman's Cart. You know, when he was listing off the prices. I never went back to the Bugman's Cart. This is a very, very old mini. It's a little too derpy. I don't like the way Bugman looks, personally. I do like maybe the cart and like the keg, the bits are cool, but the pony and Bugman look very gross. Subjectively. Not to say that this is bad, but like for me it's not my thing. Zamnil Bugmans. Yeah, at a later date, though, for sure, they're going to do all the characters. The Dwarven Engineers. These are amazing sculpts. I love these so much. You've got a guy fucking tweaking artillery. You've got a dude with a handgun. All of them have big fucking backpacks, because God knows they take this thing off and they've got every tool for every job. These are just classic. Like, they're not turbo classic, but these are the Middle Hammer goats. These are amazing. Amazing sculpts. Very chunky. Super, super chunky. But they're great. They're really good. I wish they came in resin. You know, people might disagree with that, but you could clean these up in 2 seconds in resin. This guy was made into Finecast. The typical, you know, I'm in Total War dwarf. All of these other ones were not. Only one guy made it to Finecast. And if he's a good sculpt, it's great. Or, sorry, if he's a good casting, it's great. Pretty good. Do you need 4 engineer characters? No. But cool. Very cool. Slayer Command. Alright. It's a Slayer Command. There was a few, I don't know if this is like... Let me read this. No. I was gonna say this banner topper looks a little. I guess I haven't seen Slayers in so long, but like, there were variants of these banner toppers. It has 2 banner options. Does it say that? Oh, it does, literally. Okay. I think there was even a 3rd option, so they give you them. Cool. I think there was even a 3rd option. Now, these Slayer sculpts are the best. I'm sorry, man. For me, this is like this dude's got his eyes in different directions, but that's so Slayer. Like, they're crazy. But, no, these are just great sculpts. People don't like these. I'm like, this is, again, peak Middle Hammer. Some of these are more so Middle Hammer. I mean, they're going to also sell you, like, I believe some of these are the Marauder Slayers. Like, the previous, I don't even know, like, 4th edition Slayers, something like that. These 2 guys, they still kind of work, I guess, but I'm more inclined to, like, these. This is what I grew up with. These might have been in stores when I was around, but, like, I don't remember them. I guess they kind of work, though. They do kind of... I wonder if they're sculpted by Ali Morrison, who did all the Slayers, I believe. I wonder if he actually did sculpt these ones. They look very similar. But there still is something about these sculpts that definitely look better than these sculpts. You can't even see, sorry. These ones that look better than these. Just slightly. "12 Slayers. I've got a billion Slayers. I'm not buying any Slayers. We're good. I have a mound of like metal. So many of them. Cool. Flame cannon. Not my favorite piece of artillery. Would it be to spit on tradition if I swapped the wheels out for something more practical? Like, this is so wrong. This is so wrong. Putting wooden wheels on a flame cannon. You talk about dwarves and you talk about, you know, consistency and everything being safe and well tested. What crazy fuck put wooden wheels on a flame cannon? I don't know why they aren't updating basically all the models except the ones that look good, like Archaon, though. Most of the range remaining metal makes the models expensive, even though... But you can't upgrade them because this won't make any money. Why would you upgrade an entire game with new sculpts, spending God knows how much money and time doing it, when you can re-release everything in the past and sell it to all the boomers who grew up with this stuff? And I'm on that. I'm with the boomers. I want the re-releases. I do want new sculpts, but I don't want the old sculpts to go away because we get new ones. Like, for me, the charm of Warhammer Fantasy, visually, was always these minis. Right? Like, you could say nostalgia's playing a pretty big hand in that, but to me, this doesn't look like it's aged. Like, the flame cannon is from a previous edition, but the bolt throwers, like, this is clean. This doesn't look bad at all, no? It just does not look as good as the new minis. With new minis. Well, that's a subjective take. I think this looks better. Okay, call me a fucking weirdo. This looks better than anything in Age of Sigmar. Simplistic, it's dwarven, no bullshit, straight to the point. It is a dwarven bolt thrower. It knows what it wants to be. It is what it is. For me, again, nostalgia's playing a pretty big hand at that. But, like, these are just great. They're just good old, like, again, Middle Hammer sculpts. They're not ancient. I'm assuming this is metal. Yeah, metal. I've got a fine cast one. I'd have to look at it. I've got a metal one too, but... Look at this and tell me this is aged. It looks so good, man. It looks amazing. This looks so damn good. It did age, yes, very well. It does. It looks great. No, they look awesome. Well, this is a grudge thrower. This is like your catapult. The other one was a bolt thrower. Yeah. Well, they actually sold out of the shield bearers. I got this. I did get it. And I want to, I'm fiending for, like, a plastic BSB. I don't think we're going to get a plastic BSB. By the way, you can see the print lines. If you didn't know, Games Workshop uses 3D printing for their masters, obviously. You can see the little print lines. It's a great mini, though. I think it looks good. I think this grew on me. I think initially when I saw the shield bearers, I'm like, this shit, it's just too new age. It's like digital, blah, blah, blah. But it really grew on me. I think I like it a lot. I think it's also the idea of now getting plastic shield bearers. Not going to happen with the Forge World BSB being sold. Yeah, I think that's why. I would like a plastic BSB, though. Maybe you could convert one. Yeah, you could do a bunch of stuff. This is cool, though. I will be building... Or, hey, we're going to take a look at the other one that I've got in comparison with this one, just to see how the kit kind of evolved, because this is just a take on that old kit. But that's cool. That is very cool. I like it. The cards. 1 reference card, 16 weapons, 7 armor, 8 talismanic, 8 standard runes, 7 engineering runes, 5 useful rule cards, and 4 Anvil of Doom cards. I bought it. Cool. I'll be playing the game. Ah, you can 3D print minis. Cool. The journal we already know. We've seen the journal. You know, the lore tidbits of the journal itself, we don't know what's in the front of this book. I want to read what's in the front of the book. The rules right now, again, don't really concern me, just because I'm not actively playing the game. I haven't been able to actively do Warhammer in 5 fucking years, and so this is kind of where I'm at now. I want to do so much Warhammer, to be able to play these games again, because I do miss playing. So, the rules don't really concern me as of right now. When I've been able to hobby and actually do a lot of stuff, then they will, but I know for a lot of people who are very ingrained in Old World currently for the game and not for the lore, are, like, creaming their pants, like, oh, new options, a rune! And I'm just like, yo, is that a new converting unit? Like, can we make scout gyrocopters? Can I convert fucking, like, Royal Clan warriors and, like, oh, new flaming runes? Ungrim is sold out. I did get an Ungrim. You just go in and play games with people. You can play them online. The new Ungrim sculpt looks pretty good. You know, crazily enough, I was looking at this, and initially when I saw it, I'm like, there is no way the old Ungrim compares. I think I like the old Ungrim better. That sounds copium, but, like, it was the charm of... It's the charm of the time, like how the sculpts were, in a way, but also just because he's got his cloak, he's got his gear, he's got his back banner. The old Ungrim model just had a little bit more going on, whereas this is his previous incarnation, right? Like, this is young Ungrim. He wouldn't be decked out in all the stuff that he would acquire over the years and whatnot. This would look so sick with his back banner. With all the parchments, the 4 parchments. That would be cool. Imagine him... You know what they're going to do? really good green stuff people are going to literally give them the dragon cloak and the back banner. That's what they're going to do. And it's like, this is Ungrim. If you were to give him Cloak of Friskar, and I don't think the back banner is even in lore, whatever it is, holy shit, that would look amazing. Like, that would be so cool. I don't know if I'd do that, because I do like period appropriate, you know, looks of something. Like, if this is supposed to be the young version of Ungrim, I'll leave him as that. But that's really cool. No, very, very good. The old Forge World kit. So for the longest time, this was sold out. Well, all of them were sold out. It was just Old World was Warhammer Fantasy was dead. Forge World kits were kind of rare, just because they weren't sold en masse. At least, you know, people walking into a GW wouldn't pick it up. You have to go online. This is good. It's sculpted a little differently from, like, so when it comes to how things look on a battlefield, I guess from my take on it is that you want everything to look the same. Not the same in the sense that, oh my god, it's a monopose dwarf army, but in the sense that the sculpting kind of is similar. You know, things look cohesive. These were like dwarves in 4K. These are so fucking detailed. They look... They're pretty impressive. And again, it was a Forge World kit. All of them were sculpted differently by someone else. They still look amazing. I just don't think I'd ever use this in my army. I do own one kit of this, and I think if I was to do it, maybe for the sake of the BSB, I would take the banner and put the banner on like a plastic dwarf, but then everyone else would be in like a diorama. His beard also looks different. What, you talking about Ungrim's? They look that good just for me to mess it up? I mean, yeah, they're very detailed, though. Like, these are way detailed compared to your typical sculpts. They're great, though. They're really cool. People did want them, and they bought them. And I think the final thing is the Thane on the Oathstone with the handgun. This just looks great. This is just such a good-looking, like, sculpt. Everything about it is just so clean. Still is reminiscent of, like, that 8th edition, like, those plastics, the Iron Drakes, the Iron Breakers, the Hammerers, the Longbeards. It really does look like that. The way all of this is done is very reminiscent of it. I bought them for free shipping with Ungrim. That's cool. It was a little pricey. I mean, this guy came out to be, what, 45 bucks, 50 bucks Canadian? It's a little pricey. Absolutely. But it's dwarves, and I've waited, like, 9 years, 10 years. So for Wave 1, and with the book, having read the book, the lore tidbits and whatnot for the characters, great. Again, the rules don't really concern me too much. It's more so the modeling aspect and the hobbying. When I can actually play the game and, like, sit down and make a list that I can play, then the journal in that regard is going to be worth even more to me, but... I mean, so far, pretty good. I still think Wave 1 should have come with a cannon. Like, did we really need to bring back Flame Cannon initially? This is... I feel like the Flame Cannon's probably going to sell the least. It's very cool looking, but your traditional, like, grudge thrower, bolt thrower, stuff like that. I mean, shit, man, they even tease you with the Dwarf Miners. They're like, here you go. See you in a few months. You'll get those later. Well, I mean, some of this stuff is even older for me. Like, I'm not ancient, but, you know, I had a lot of, had a shit ton of Warhammer growing up. When does the pre-order go live naturally? Like, when is it supposed to be sold? Is it noon? What time is it in the UK? If this shit's already sold out, what time is it in the UK for this? Probably like, it's 2 p.m. So the pre-orders went live at 12? 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 hours ago. So 11. They went live at 11? Really? Man, to see this stuff back is pretty jarring. 10 a.m. UK time? 4, okay, so wow, 10. I was told to come in at, like, after 12. Sold out online, there's still plenty in stores. Oh, you're not getting all of this in stores, though. I think initially in stores, you're going to get, like, the journal, you're going to get the battalion box. You're not going to get Ungrim. You're not going to get... Well, it literally says online only. You won't be getting any of those. All of these are literally online only. Except the main blocks of troops. 3 minutes after going live, they were all sold out. Hey, I called in last night. I called in, and I already got my shit pre-ordered. I just got to go in today and pay. What I ended up getting was... transfer sheet, the dice, the cards, the shield bearers, the book, Ungrim, and the Oathstone Thane. Before tax, $352. Before tax. I basically purchased everything I didn't own, all the new stuff. Like, I own the command set, I own all this other shit. I've got, like, fucking 4 grudge throwers and all that. If you were someone who wanted to go all in on dwarves, and you're like, I'm gonna buy everything, fucking $250, $100, $100, $100, like, you're not going all in. $100, $50. Like, holy moly. I think the biggest thing for me, looking at pricings, was this. This is $45. This is $45. It's a $45 transfer sheet. Like, this shit better be laced with, like, Grungni's fucking blood, for God's sake. Really like the Ungrim model. It's good, yeah. This is, online only. You can't buy it from... Can you buy... I don't think you could buy it from, hobby stores if they're not going to stock it. I don't know. It's 1,000 transfers, 960 something or something like that. 962. I don't think anyone's going to the Midwest Fur Fest. I don't think they are. Maybe they're not. I don't know, brother. What do you use transfer sheets for? For, like, decoration. I really like the idea. So the way I'm doing my dwarves is I'm going to be making them all very unique. I'm going to try and make them all kind of a one-off. What I'm very much interested in is this. The runes and the Clinkaroon. So, like, the Dwarven alphabet. Imagine this. You're making a squad of 20 dwarf warriors. Instead of using the same shield patterns, you instead use a blank slate canvas for the shield, so just a flat, you know, surface. Then you can deck the shield out with anything here. Different combinations, different designs, you could freehand stuff. You can basically make every dwarf warrior look unique. And that's what I'm very, very interested in with, like, this portion in particular. You can throw holds, you know, heraldry and whatnot onto banners, onto shields. But I really, really like the idea of a personalized individual dwarf for each dwarf. Yeah, scrape off the shield designs and put on transfers. Yeah, or just freehand. Yeah, microsol and microset. Those are the ones everyone uses. Yep. That's what I will be getting. Again, I'm not even close to doing... I'm not close to hobbying. Like, well, not hobbying, but building, finishing pieces. I'm still scraping plastic eternally. When I can get to that point, great, but, like, I'm kind of a ways out. Overall, good, though. I like it. The two things I'm interested in the most, though, again, is the book and the shield bearers. I probably will never use Ungrim for 315 points. That's, like, very flavorful, I suppose, but 315 points for Ungrim? Like, jeez. You can see all of the... Look at the print lines on the axe. Oh, man. I mean, you don't see it, though. Only if it's zoomed in. This is great. Looks really good, man. I like that they're also coming in boxes. Like, colored boxes. That's good. I do wonder, though. I really wish they showed you the sprue. And for some reason, they're not showing you the sprue. Would that deter people from buying it in, like, a pre-order? If they don't kind of, like, show you there's a lot going on? Is that maybe it? I don't get it. Whoa! 50 plastic components. 50. Okay, maybe... 50 plastic components. So, like, what could that be? Let's just say the Dwarf Warriors are, like... I mean, the shield bearers are most likely... 4, 8, 16... Or 12, sorry. Maybe a little bit more. A little under 20. Nah, it's probably about right. I don't think you're going to get that many options. They said you get different weapon options and different head options. I think is what it said. This multi-part plastic kit builds 2 Dwarf Lords, one carried aloft by shield bearers, the other marching into battle on foot to lead the armies of the Dwarven Mountain Holds. This kit includes 2 bearded heads, 2 ornate helmeted crests, and 2 armored bodies. 2 ornate helmets and 2 bearded crests. Oh, sorry. 2 bearded heads and 2 ornate helmet crests. These are the helmet crests. And 2 bearded heads. Don't they all have beards? Kind of looks like Cold One. Yeah, a little bit like that. Could be anything, though, right? Could be some Drake. Well, I guess realistically, all we haven't seen are the supposed bearded heads. Interesting. You'll also find options to build one Dwarf Lord with axe and shield, and the other with a great weapon, plus an optional holstered pistol and a Grim Ancestral badge. A Grim Ancestral badge. Is that it? Is that thing right there? Interesting. Very interesting. All right, well, it's a great day to be a Dwarf fan. Bad day to be a human being with a wallet, but, you know, sometimes you gotta just lay down that dosh. Good. I think we're done looking at Dwarf stuff. I think we've literally looked at everything outside of, like, the nitty-gritty rules stuff, just because, again, I'm not, like, rule savvy. I don't play the game currently. All right. We could do a little bit of Warhammer, but, like, I wasn't really supposed to be here today. I should have been on the other channel right now, but, like... you know what? I can stream on the other channel for, like, 2 hours. 9, 10, 11... you know what? We're gonna go stream League. I shouldn't really be here. We should be on the League channel, just because today was supposed to be a League day. So, I saw what I needed to see. That's it for me. I'm gonna go stream League. I'm gonna go play Ranked. If you see me here again, it'll be probably later tonight, but we're not really doing anything substantial. We're just cleaning crossbows into the fucking sunset. But yeah, that's it. I'm out. Take care. Be well. Stay safe. And I would say overall... for the little tidbits that we got in the book of lore, it was great, but I don't think... it was like Burlock Damonson and Thorgrim that kind of were like, okay, that's really cool. Ungrim's the same guy. Ungrim is the exact same dude. Nothing has really changed. He's just younger. But yeah, that's it for me. Peace, peace. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy your dwarf day. Peace, folks.